Hello. I'd like to tell you about myself. I was born in Colorado, and I grew up in Colorado. So outside in Colorado, I played with my friends and my family. I had a good life. And then something happened that was really strange. So around 21, I found out I was hearing. So what does that mean? Did I grow up but I couldn't hear? No. I could hear perfectly. I could hear my mom talking. I could hear the phone ringing. I could hear everybody perfectly. But I had no clue that I was labeled hearing until I went to the Colorado School of the Deaf and Hearing. I became the dorm supervisor. I couldn't sign. But the first moment I walked in, the line was drawn. I could tell I was different. My body language was different. I never felt different before. From that minute, I was a minority. I went from the majority to the minority, just like that. All my life, I grew up normal. From that minute, I had no idea what normal meant anymore. That was the minute I became hearing, and I didn't know what normal meant anymore. That was really new to me. That foundation of my thinking was different. I was hearing. That started me thinking, gave me different questions of what it meant to be hearing. What does it mean to be hearing? So I went to different colleges. I had a bachelor's degree. I went to 4-year schools. I got a graduate degree. I spent $100,000, and my schools were 2 miles apart from the new school where I was. And I never learned anything about this school. And I realized, what does it mean to be hearing? So for me, when I first arrived, what did it mean? I was missing something. What did it mean to have a hearing loss? I was focused. I need to open up my focus and study what that meant. How is hearing this shaped literature? How is being hearing? How has hearingness influenced the history of thought? How is it being passed down for thousands of years, that thought process? How does that shape how we think? How do we take hearing studies and think about it? How does the history of it? You study women's studies, black studies, white history. Sorry. What's my point? It's not about hearing loss. It refers to the limitation that hearing individuals experience. What is the concept of hearing loss for hearing people? They need to open up. What really does that word hearing loss mean? Because really it means two different concepts. Hearing loss. It's interesting. For me, when I was growing up, I was all with hearing people. So you have hearing loss, you have people with late hearing loss. Lessons and limitations. It's a different perspective. We humans often get it wrong. So it's a different perspective. So for many years, humans thought the earth was flat because that was my perspective. It's flat. But we know the earth is round, right? Because you opened up your mind, you looked from different perspectives. You added more people's opinion. Oh, and you arrived at a different concept or a different conclusion. The earth is round. Geocentrism. Other ideas, we thought the earth was the center of everything, right? Did you feel like that? The sun rose and went around the earth, and we were here, we stayed still. Because we don't move, right? We don't feel anything, we're just still. But that's not true. That's one person's perspective. When you open up your mind, you arrive at a different conclusion. That's geocentrism. Phonocentrism, language does not equal speech. Phonocentrism. That's the idea that's hearing perspective. Language equals speech. They mean the same. So for thousands of years, people were stubborn because they thought the earth was flat. That we have to change our perspective about language, open it up and look at different perspective. Language is not what it used to be. Now we have the discussion and we found out really language comes from the brain. It doesn't matter where language comes from. It comes from your ears, your eyes. That's what makes language. Now we accept the new discussions. Now we take everybody's perspective and we know the language is sign, voice. It doesn't matter. It's equivalent. Because we got it wrong, so the hearing perspective is wrong, right? Because that foundation, that concept, what it's like to be normal, now we know that that language definition was wrong. We have to accept another person's perspective and look at definitions, how we describe it, look at literacy. Literacy is more than reading and writing. It's literature. Literature includes signing. It's more than that. The origins of language theory. How language grows. How you accept it. And now we include the human brain. It's not the way we looked at it before. We use a new map, textual studies. What does that mean? The benefits of visual gestural. It's actually how you learn. Use visuals, use gestures. It's your access to knowledge. Human nature, human being. What is human nature and human beings? Really, that's all part of hearing. Now we know we can arrive at different conclusions about language. And we have humans. For example, how hearing people get things, how people with hearing loss gather information. There's other lists of things that we can discuss. Deaf gain and hearing loss. Eye contact. It's interesting about eye contact. Really, of people use eye contact. From the beginning, from growing up, they use eye contact. Hearing people is completely different. Hearing people will talk, but they really never look at each other. When you think about eye contact, it's really beneficial for your health. Really, eye contact really can improve your health and be very beneficial for your health. So the new psychological benefits for eye contact really help. There's a lot of new information to help people how to use eye contact. Here's my list number 3. Hearing classroom ecology. Together with the classrooms, eye contact really can be beneficial. How you set up your environment in the classroom. When I was growing up, my classroom looked like this. It had rows of desks all sitting in a row. That was normal. What kind of human contact did you have? What did it look like? Who was sitting behind me? I had no idea. Who was in front of me? I didn't know. I never had any connection with them. That didn't foster any kind of contact. I never knew what they... So what does a deaf classroom look like? It's as soon as you walk in, you're in a big round table. As soon as you walk in, what happens? You make eye contact with everyone. That's the first thing that you do. I notice you, and you. I'm connected with everyone. Everybody you see that walks into the classroom, I'm connected to. I have eye contact. That's really great for health benefits. Other things for health loss, health benefits. Hearing people have a lot of health problems. Do you think hearing people have no health problems? Really, they have a lot of health issues just because they're hearing. For example, last night, around 11 last night, I was ready to go to sleep, but I heard the alarm. So what happened, it got louder and louder, and it was really loud, and I was trying to turn it off, but it kept happening again and again and again. And I tried to turn it off, and I couldn't turn it off. So what happened, I was getting more and more frustrated. Ugh, it made me so angry. Because I was hearing, I could hear it. There's a lot of other problems with hearing. Sleep disturbance, reduced task performance, academic success, emotional states of annoyance, cardiovascular disease, neurological disorders, gastrointestinal disorders, fetal abnormalities, death, shaken baby syndrome. Really, hearing is serious. It causes a lot of stress in people. It's really interesting. So we need to know how to control that stress because we can't turn our hearing off, right? So what's my point? Being hearing or deaf, one isn't necessarily better than the other in all cases. Hearing or deaf, is one better than the other? I don't know, but they're different. I'm not suggesting that deaf people, that their life is better than the other. And I'm not suggesting that you fix somebody to become hearing, that that's better. But I am suggesting that you study it, open up your mind. Lessons in respect, taking a second look. The concept of respect, really that word, respecter, to look again. What does that mean? It means again, respect. To take a second look at something. To look again, to look all around. Stop. Wait a minute, think about it. Maybe look at yourself. Maybe look at somebody else's point of view. Taking a second, maybe take a second look, like become hearing. What? Like, me, wait, maybe I'm normal, maybe I'm not normal. Taking a second look at one's privilege. Who am I? Wait a minute. Maybe I have all these things. Maybe I'm privileged. Deep down inside, think about the things that you think about yourself. Maybe what am I normal? What am I missing? Wait, maybe it's this or maybe it's that. Really dive down and think about it. Take a second look at your education. Where does my knowledge come from? How do I know these things? From your education. Really take a look at that. And what is normal? Really think about your experiences. Maybe you only have hearing experiences. Maybe take a look at that. And human diversity. Really the values of human diversity. Remember Bell wrote about deaf values? And he said that was a bad thing? But I'm saying that that's a good thing. That all together that we really need to take our values and take a second look at hearing loss.